Okay, guys, let's do something called 5 fun facts. Let's go. Fun fact number 1. I do not put my private information online. My private information is kept private for a reason. I've made sure that I don't exist online in my real capacity. I go under an alias, which is not even close to my real name. But this is for, like I said, a good reason. Because a few years back, I was in a pretty serious domestic violence relationship where the person who perpetrated the abuse on me decided that it was a good idea, not so much for me, but for him, to put a gun in my mouth and pull the trigger. Fortunately for me, and unfortunate for him, it wasn't loaded, but he didn't know that. So it pissed him off pretty good. But the very next morning, not even early, I mean, it was hours, police come in, busting in the door, and took him to prison eventually. He went to jail and then prison. From there, he's been in prison for years. I knew this day would come where he would no longer be in prison. So I made sure that I wouldn't be found online. So I go under this alias to keep myself safe and my family safe. Well, fun fact number 2. Jessica, girl, I didn't forget about you. See, yesterday when you were on YouTube, after I put my video up, and you decided to fill out those privacy complaints, didn't think I knew, did ya? But I do. So when you filled out those privacy complaints saying that I was doxing your real private information, you weren't being truthful. See, you knew that wasn't true. Because if I were legitimately doxing you, I would have had to have put out your current address, your current information. The information that was shared in them documents that you don't want people to see, that stuff was old addresses and information, stuff that you've not lived at in over a decade. Now, if somebody who lives at them addresses currently, whether it be your dad or not, I don't know, if they wanted to do it, they would have the ability to because the addresses shown on the documents were theirs, not yours. So when you filled out them forms and sent them to get my video taken down under harassment and cyberbullying violation, you lied to them. You would have had to have told them that the addresses on those were yours or currently doxing your private information, or else it would have had to have been one of them. So going forward, I now know because I spoke to somebody today who is an attorney and knows the YouTube stuff. They gave me the path to taking care of that in the future. So should you do this stuff going forward, I now know how to address YouTube in my appeal and give them like the statutes and stuff that say that I can provide this certain information, and the real information say it would be for an address or something to show that you don't live there, that it's not your home. So there's that. Fun fact number 3. Jason, well, you and Jason. So since you guys decided you wanted to do this and put this up, this poor woman here who didn't ask to be brought into any of this, not even close, she didn't share this information or any of the information for that matter. You have Jason on here doing this kind of thing for you or whatever the situation may be, but it's kind of hard to say that you don't have a part in it when what reason would he have to be trying to dox me? So this would be a legitimate dox, should it have been mine. But should he actually legitimately dox me, since that's clear that's what he's trying to do, then we will have to go to this. This is Illinois House Bill 2954, 2594, something like that. This gives me legal recourse to go forward legally anybody who should dox me. Now, should you or Jason actually dox me or try to with legitimate information, I can now do this. And I'm going to do this because, well, there's more. Because you are putting myself and my family in danger by doxing me, you will now be liable should something happen. Should that person show up at my house or hurt me or my kids or even light a fire on my fucking front lawn, you are now liable for that criminally because you or him, whoever, shared my private information on a public forum. When I do not share that information, I go under an alias. So, if that were the case, you should be sure to know that I will take legal recourse, whatever I need to do to make sure that my family is safe and that my private information is not online. But if you should do that, just know now that I have no problem getting on a plane tomorrow to be sure to make sure that the stuff is taken care of legally, because I am not going to play games with my children's safety. Now, going forward, this next part. This gives me the ability to take legal action for the video and the TikToks or whatever you made today and the other day. See, by you coming on here and calling me a scammer and saying that I did, called child services or whatever else you may have said that is not true, I now have the legal ability to do this. Go for defamation, libel, because to prove it in Illinois, I have to prove that you made false statements to a third party, which would be your TikToks saying that I'm a scammer. And I also now have the privacy complaints where you had my video taken down, showing that I was not trying to do that, which makes it look like you did it intentionally. You had my video taken down. You then came online and said that I'm a scammer putting videos behind paywalls, and that's why I'm doing this. That's not true. You know it's not true. You didn't like that I shared documents that proved you a liar, so then you go and you retaliate against me, which is what you did yesterday and today. Coming on here and calling me a scammer does not change the facts, but it does give me legal recourse, again, to sue you for what you're doing. This is not the only thing. So I have to prove that the false statements cause harm to the person or the reputation. So first off, you're not only causing harm to myself and my reputation by saying that stuff, you're also into a realm of financial harm. See, I didn't come here to make money off of this stuff, but because I do now, you've now caused financial harm because calling me a scammer is insinuating that this is all just for money and all this stuff, and it's going to try to push people away. I'll be able to prove that because showing that your statements were made this day and you will see the drop and decline in financial income, that will then prove that part of it. So I now will have the ability to, or do have the ability to sue you. So I now have the doxing legal situation. I have this ability, and that other lady has the doxing ability. And should something happen to myself or my family or my front yard or one of my pets, then I can sue, or not sue you, I can have them file criminal charges for my information being put out. And just because you don't say my real name does not get you out of it. It's still very clear that it is me you are talking about. So if you want to go those routes, I have no problem. I will be on a plane tomorrow to come file charges if I need to. It is that simple. Fuck with my family and my children, and we will be playing a whole nother game through the courts. Have a good one.